Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Kareem Registanwala and welcome to today's discussion on how to identify and avoid toxic positivity. Being positive is good, but sometimes too much forced positivity can harm our mental and emotional health. Toxic positivity means ignoring real feelings and pretending that everything is always fine. Today, we will learn how to recognize toxic positivity and how to respond in a healthy and balanced way. Let's begin. Hi, ChatGPT. How are you?
Walaikum assalam, Kareem. I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to our conversation today. It's such an important topic, and I'm excited to explore how we can identify and navigate toxic positivity in a healthy way. Let's get started whenever you're ready.
Okay, my first question is what does toxic positivity mean in simple words?
Absolutely. In simple terms, toxic positivity is when people focus only on being positive and ignore or dismiss any negative emotions. It basically means pretending everything is always fine and not allowing ourselves to genuinely acknowledge or process those tougher feelings. It's essentially the pressure to always appear cheerful, even when that's not the reality.
Okay, how is a toxic positivity different from healthy positivity?
Great question. Healthy positivity involves acknowledging both the good and the bad emotions and finding a balanced, realistic perspective. It means being optimistic while still validating and processing difficult feelings. On the other hand, toxic positivity means ignoring or invalidating those negative emotions and forcing a constant, unrealistic sense of happiness. So the main difference is that healthy positivity is more balanced and authentic, while toxic positivity is more about denial and suppression.
Okay, why do people sometimes hide their real emotions?
There are a few reasons for that. Sometimes people might feel pressure from social norms that encourage them to always appear strong or positive. Other times people might worry about burdening others with their negative emotions, or they might fear judgment or rejection. Sometimes it's also a coping mechanism where people try to protect themselves from painful feelings. Overall, it can be a mix of societal influences, personal fears, and a desire to maintain a certain image.
Okay, what phrases are examples of toxic positivity?
Sure. Some common examples include phrases like just stay positive, or it could be worse when someone is expressing their struggles. Another example would be saying, don't worry, be happy, or everything happens for a reason when someone is dealing with grief or difficulty. Essentially, any phrase that dismisses genuine emotions or pressures someone to be happy all the time can be considered toxic positivity.
Okay, how can toxic positivity affect mental health?
Toxic positivity can really impact mental health by making individuals feel invalidated or even more isolated. When their real emotions are dismissed, it can lead to increased feelings of loneliness, anxiety, or depression. It can also prevent people from processing their feelings and seeking the help they might need. Over time, this can create a cycle where people feel pressured to hide their struggles, ultimately worsening their mental well-being.
Okay, how can toxic positivity affect mental health? Sorry, my next question is why is it important to accept negative emotions?
That's a great question. Accepting negative emotions is really important because it allows us to process and understand them, which helps in building emotional resilience. When we acknowledge our true feelings, we can cope better, reduce stress, and avoid bottling things up. It also fosters genuine self awareness and empathy, both for ourselves and for others. Ultimately, it leads to better mental health and more authentic connections.
Okay. How does a toxic positivity affect the relationship?
Toxic positivity can really strain relationships because it often leads to a lack of genuine communication. When one person is always pushing for positivity, it can make the other person feel invalidated or misunderstood, and that can create distance or resentment. It can also prevent people from having meaningful, empathetic conversations, which are key to building trust and intimacy. Ultimately, it can create a barrier to authentic connection and mutual support.
Okay. Can social media increase toxic positivity? How?
Absolutely. Social media, the highlight reels of people's lives, which can create unrealistic expectations and pressure to always appear happy and successful. This can make individuals feel like their own struggles are invalid or that they need to hide their true emotions. It can also amplify the feeling of comparison, leading to increased anxiety or low self esteem. So, social media definitely plays a role in promoting that kind of forced positivity.
Okay. How can we respond when someone shows toxic positivity?
A good approach is to gently acknowledge their intent and then steer the conversation toward empathy and understanding. For instance, you could validate their positive intentions, but gently share your own feelings and let them know it's okay to acknowledge the tough stuff. You can also encourage open and honest dialogue by creating a safe and non-judgmental space. Ultimately, it's about validating their emotions while also helping them feel comfortable acknowledging the full range of feelings.
Okay. Why is emotional honesty important for well-being?
Emotional honesty is really important for well-being because it allows us to truly it helps reduce stress and prevents emotional buildup. It also fosters healthier relationships because it encourages genuine connection and trust. Plus, it helps us make more informed decisions and promotes a sense of authenticity and self-acceptance. Ultimately, being emotionally honest is key to mental and emotional health.
Okay. How can self-awareness help avoid toxic positivity?
Self-awareness is super helpful because it allows us to recognize when we're denying or suppressing our true emotions. When we're more self-aware, we can identify when we might be leaning too heavily on forced positivity and instead allow ourselves to experience and process all emotions, both positive and negative. This self-awareness helps us respond more authentically and compassionately, both toward ourselves and others. Ultimately, it helps us create a healthier balance and avoid falling into that trap of toxic positivity.
Okay, my last question is what is one step you can take to be emotionally honest?
One great step is to practice mindfulness, which means taking a moment to check in with yourself and acknowledge your true feelings without judgment. You can do this by setting aside a few minutes each day to reflect on how you're feeling, maybe through journaling, simply sitting quietly. This helps you become more aware of your emotions and accept them as they are. Over time, this practice can really foster emotional honesty and help you respond to your feelings in a healthier way.
Okay, thank you for joining this discussion on how to identify and avoid toxic positivity. Remember, it is okay to not be okay. True positivity comes from accepting all emotions and not hating them. Be kind to yourself, listen to your feelings and support others with understanding and empathy. See you in the next session. Allah Hafiz.
That was a wonderful wrap up. Thank you for such an insightful discussion. And I completely agree. Embracing all emotions with kindness and empathy. It's so important. I'm looking forward to the next session as well. Take care and Allah Hafiz.